Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to play a thrash metal guitar riff on a wait a minute, that's the wrong guitar, hold on a 7-string guitar. So first, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do that now and ding the little bell so you get all my notifications when I create videos just like this one. Alright, so I'm actually going to teach you how to play the riff that you just heard. Actually, there's 2 riffs involved here, and I'll explain more about this specific song after we go through the lesson. So let's bring it in close. If you don't have your guitar in your hand, pause the video, go grab that now, and let's learn how to play this thrash metal style riff on a 7-string. Alright, so we're starting out on that open B string, palm muting, and essentially just think of this. We're going to be palm muting that open B twice, 2 times between each of the other notes that we play here. So those other notes, we're going to be on frets 5, 2, and 3. Now for that last little part that we're going to do, we're just going to head over to the E string, and we're going to play the 2nd fret, really just 1 time, and then we're going back to the B string, and we're going to toggle back and forth between the 2nd and 3rd fret there. So it's like this. Okay, so put those together and you've got. Now we're going to do the exact same thing again, but this time we're going to kind of cut everything short and land on a power chord, which is going to be it's going to be the 2nd and 3rd string, in this case the E and A, and the frets 3 and 5. And what is that? That's a G power chord. So instead of doing, we're doing. So let's put all that together. Now, if you play through that exact same pattern, what we just did, but instead of landing on that G chord, at the end, go to your C chord, your heavy C chord up here. Which that's the 1st and 2nd string, your B and E string, frets 1 and 3. So here's how the whole thing sounds again. I'm going to play through this really slow. So to simplify things, a lot of what we're doing is just going back and forth between the B and E string. We're palm muting that open B, and then we're playing the 2nd fret of the E string. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So you're basically palm muting that open B string twice, then hitting that next note, the E string 2nd fret, and you're doing that 2 times. Then you go back to palm muting that open B once, and then going right back to that 2nd fret of the 2nd string. So there's kind of a rhythmic pattern there, and this is probably the more difficult part of the song, is just getting that rhythm down. So just, if you want to hang around and practice that part, that one little piece over and over, feel free to pause right now and just practice that. After you play that part, what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of a similar riff than what we did in the first part of that intro. but you're going to be playing over 3 strings here. So you're on your E string, you're going 3, 2, 3, and then you're going to the A string 2nd fret. Then you're just going to walk that back down to 3, 2 on the E string, and then 3 on the B string. So all right, so let's fit all of that, what we've just learned. Let's kind of fit that together, and I'll play through this kind of slow. Now we're going to do that part actually 2 times. We're going to do it the first time, and there's going to be another little piece we play, and then we're going to do the same thing in the 3rd part of this little riff that we're playing here, and then I'll show you the last piece. So you've got 1 and 3. Those are the same, what we just played. Now 2 and 4, talking about parts of the riff, 2 and 4 are going to be kind of similar, but it's just going to result in a chord change at the end, just like the first part of the intro that I just showed you. Here's the second part to this riff. Pretty simple. We're keeping that same picking pattern that we just learned between that B and E string. But then after we play that part, instead of doing that little riff that we did earlier, instead we're going djent on that heavy B string, palm muting, and then we're hitting that G power chord. That's the E and A string, frets 3 and 5. Hit that B twice again, palm muted. Then just move that power chord on E and A string, frets 2 and 4. Now, to make things simple, we do pretty much everything we just did. We repeat that entire pattern, except for the end. Instead of this, we're gonna land on a different chord structure here. So we're gonna go, get some of those heavier power chords in there, which sound really cool. So there, we're doing that. Remember that picking pattern? Then we're going, that's that really heavy D. That's that's frets 3 and 5 on your B and E string. Then we're gonna go up to 1 and 3. That's the entire riff, guys. I'm gonna play this through one more time. I'm gonna try to go through everything kind of slow here. So here's the entire riff that we just learned. Now for my Patreon supporters, I'm actually going to give you the guitar tabs for both 7-string and 6-string in a PDF file, so you can download that right now. I'll have the link in the description of this video. That is for my Patreon supporters. If you're not yet a Patreon supporter, you can sign up there. I appreciate that. That's just another way you can help me as an independent musician. Now the song you just heard, so that song is actually called Wings of Destruction, and a little bit about that tune. So that's one of the tracks on my album Masterpeace that I released in 2019. That was my first vocal album, by the way. It's kind of like a melodic death metal meets thrash metal. So there's a lot of thrash, like really classic thrash metal vibes in there. I've got a link to that album in the description of this video as well, so definitely check that out. About this song, you've got a lot of single note riffs in here, dun 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 dun, and then you've got some palm muting involved. So that is that classic downstroke thrash metal style of playing. And you know, I think that's one of the most important styles. In fact, I think it's the first style of metal that you should learn how to play if you're just starting out. And I know most of you watching this video have been playing for a while, hence you're playing a 7-string. But just a note on thrash metal in general, I think that if you learn how to play that style of metal, you can pretty much move on to any other subgenre of metal after that, because in thrash metal, there's so many different types of riffs that you're playing, and your fingers are moving around, man. A lot of metal styles out there, especially some of the more modern stuff, and I guess modern is really depending on when you're watching this video. We're in 2020 right now at the time of recording this, and a lot of the modern metal is just kind of like djent and just, you know, playing chords and just the same stuff over and over. And I'm probably going to get smacked for saying that, but the cool thing about thrash metal is you're moving around. Like I said, you're moving those fingers around the fretboard, man. You're not staying in one place. You're not just dun, 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 you know, you're not playing the same thing over and over. With thrash metal style, you're able to better connect your mind, you know, that mental part of playing guitar, your mind, with your hands and the fretboard, because they're moving around so much. And I know I'm harping on this, guys, but I think it's just extremely important as a guitar player, especially as a metal guitar player, that you practice thrash metal style riffs as much as you possibly can. Even if your genre, maybe you do play djent, maybe you do play more modern metal, and that's fine, that's okay. But even if you play those styles, I encourage you to practice this style, practice the thrash metal style, because it's just going to make you a better guitarist in general. And that's just my opinion, but hey, leave your thoughts in the comments. If you have some thoughts on that, I would love to hear those. Now, I'm still giving away my free practice guide. I've got a metal guitar practice guide. It's called 10 Metal Riffs and Licks, and the cool thing about that book is I will send you the update every time I update it. I'm about to do an overhaul on that anyway soon. So that link is in the description of this video as well. I'm giving you a few links here, so make sure you go to the YouTube description and definitely check those out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, until next time, keep it metal.